Hi, everyone, and welcome to The Win with Heather Haven here in Renegade Nation. And this is a special, what I call security alert show today. This is going to be a lot of fun. It's kind of different. As you know, everyone, I talk about entrepreneurship and the future of entrepreneurship. I live here in Austin, Texas. I'm a big proponent of creating jobs and entrepreneurship steps. Sometimes what I call the government doesn't like, right? And I saw this interview with this guy on Alex Jones. If y'all listen to Alex Jones, he's amazing. He's here in Austin, Texas, too. And I saw this guy about what I call, I'm going to introduce him in a second, but it's really about the censorship we're starting to see. Now, we've been seeing it for a long time. We just didn't know that we were seeing it. And so now it's kind of starting to come out, this censorship with the emails and all these servers and all this crazy stuff. And we're starting to realize, Edward Snowden, that whatever we're seeing is not really the truth behind. There's a cloud, right? There's a cloud and there's truth behind it. And so I'm going to bring up now our this guest. Andrew, are you on the line? You're here?
Yes, I'm here.
Okay, so this is Andrew Torba. He is the creator and founder of GAB.Ai. And I'm going to let him explain what that is, but it's a space for true uncensorship, right? So Andrew, let's talk about that. Why did you start this? What's the creation of GAB.Ai, and why is it what I call ruffling the feathers of where you're at right now, which is Silicon Valley?
Sure. Yeah. So my name is Andrew Torba, as you mentioned. I'm 25 years old. I'm an entrepreneur here in Silicon Valley. And my first company was an advertising startup. And we were actually building on the ecosystems of Facebook, Twitter, Google. So I have a very intimate relationship with these companies for over 5 years as a third-party developer. And in that position, I got to see a lot of the dirty underbelly of the industry, how third-party developers are treated, which is very poorly. They're abused and used, and really the primary source of income and support for these ecosystems and for the billions that these companies are making. So I was a part of that ecosystem for about 5 years and really just got fed up with a lot of the treatment that we were receiving as developers and as a third-party company. So that was kind of step one. Mm-hmm. Step two was, here in Silicon Valley, as a conservative, I was very quiet about my political beliefs. So I had been a supporter of Mr. Trump, since the moment he walked down the escalator, back in June of 2015. And I had kept that very low key. And I felt that was very sad that I couldn't express myself, here publicly without fear of, being blacklisted by investors or potential partners or, even my current shareholders or customers. So I felt that was, just a shame. And, it was something that
I you just a second there, because that's really important. And what I'm asking you, I live in Texas, so there's a lot of conservatism here, but I also live in what I call an area that's high Democratic, which is Austin.
Yep.
And I'm born and raised in Texas, so to me, talking about Trump is like, I don't know why you guys are upset about it,
Sure.
But is this true? Is this really true that there in Silicon Valley, it could really make or break a deal that you tell investors, oh yeah, I like Trump. Seriously? Like, no shit.
Oh, no, absolutely. And what we're seeing now is a lot of actually VC firms, some of the biggest VC firms on Sand Hill Road are coming out publicly as a firm. Even if, firms are generally, 10 or 20 plus people. So you're telling me that every single one of those people at the firm felt comfortable and is 100% not voting for Trump and felt comfortable with the firm coming out publicly and saying, do not vote for Trump. That's what's starting to happen now. And that's getting scary. So I think
why is that for a second? I'm going to interrupt you for a second, only because to me, if they're VC, they're pro creating businesses. So to me, I'm like, WTF, what the that makes no sense to me. Why they would be is there a connection? Are they part of the Clinton Foundation? What's going on there? Can you elaborate?
Yeah, this is very easy. I mean, it's all about following the money. Okay. And it's really following the money in two ways. Number one, many of the VCs and high net worth individuals here have contributed to either the Clinton Foundation or the Clinton campaign directly.
But what are they getting? What are they getting?
What are they getting from that? Well, here's the second part of follow the money, the H-1Bs. So Silicon Valley is notorious for abusing the H-1B system. And basically what happens is every 6 months they ship in, thousands of engineers that they, pay next to nothing. And, 6 months later they ship them back out. And, that's, meanwhile we have millions of STEM educated Americans who are without a job and, working at Starbucks right now. So I think that is really really the biggest part, the driving factor of it is.
So they're afraid that if Trump gets in politically, he's going to kill this what is it called? H what?
H-1Bs, so the H-1B visas, which basically allows temporary workers to come over here,
So
for a short period.
From India, Romania, or whatever.
Oh, all over the place. Yep, all over the place. And
this is the first I've heard of this.
Yeah. So not many people actually know about it. It's kind of it's one of the dirty underbelly things here of Silicon Valley. And I think the second thing is a lot of them. I mean, if you look at Apple as a notorious example, they have offshore tax havens, and I think that is something that Mr. Trump is going to stop as well. So I think that that's something that they're worried about is now they're going to have to pay a lot more U.S. taxes, which they should, and a lot of the things that Mr. Trump is saying on trade deals is going to impact their businesses. Yep, exactly. It's going to impact their bottom line, and that's what they're afraid of. So again, it's all about money, and it's this overarching shift in business over the past 30, 40 years where we've shifted the alignment of creating value for consumers specifically with the business into creating and driving pure shareholder profit as the only attainable goal of business, which I don't think is the only attainable goal of business. And we need to change that culture. And that's part of what we're trying to do here as well.
So what? So okay. So you're 25. By the way, you said 5 years. Like you're so old. Okay, you're 25, which is pretty impressive. I have to say, it's really impressive. So here you are. You can't talk about, hey, I like Trump. I want to carry a gun. You're gonna be moving to Texas soon. Awesome. Come on down. We got CHL license. Come on down. Have a lot of fun. We'll have a lot of fun. I carry a gun every day. I mean, this is not news to anybody, right? So, so tell me, how did GAB.AI start?
Sure.
How did this happen? And then where are you headed with this, right? So what's
Sure. Yeah. So, again, I was keeping my views pretty private for a while until I attended the San Jose Trump rally. And I had live streamed from inside of the rally, and I'd captured about half the rally, and it was nothing but love, nothing but excitement, nothing but high energy, as always.
Cool, right? I missed the one in Texas because I was on vacation. I was like, oh my God, I was so upset because
it was a lot of fun.
It was a lot of fun, but I just have to stop you for just 1 second. It's like people don't realize it's a movement. It's a movement. Like Hillary Clinton, and they keep showing them at his rallies, and they show his face like this. They don't see these auditoriums full of people that came from miles and miles away. When's the last time you've seen that? And it's every day. Not just one. It's like every damn day he's in a new city doing this, and Hillary can barely get like a basketball arena together, right? You're like, look, you're in like a high school gym. What is that? No, that's 5 people.
So it's funny, actually, Senator Sanders, I'm originally from Scranton, Pennsylvania, and Senator Sanders is campaigning for Hillary, actually, I believe, this weekend in a high school gym. So it's funny that you say that. Meanwhile, Trump is actually coming to Scranton area, and he's taking over the Mohegan Sun Arena, which seats 30,000. Yeah,
that's what he did in Texas. He did the Travis County, which is, by the way, there's stuff downtown. There's the big arenas, but then the Travis County is where they do the rodeo, right? It's like freaking huge. He smashed it, right? Smashed it. People are outside. People come from all over Texas, Austin, Dallas, whatever. Filled that baby. And what's really interesting about that, I know I'm keep interrupting you, but honestly, no one's come to Texas, which is so weird to me. Like Hillary doesn't come, thank God. She can stay away. Hillary doesn't come, but Trump only come once, and I know that's because we're not a swing state, right? We're not, but I get that. But like, just the fact that he came here and
I was gonna say,
massive change was like, holy cow, right?
I'm going to say it's like he actually cares, right? And that's one of the ways that you could tell that he cares. It's like, we don't need to go to Texas. Like, we're going to win Texas in a landslide. It's a Republican state. But, there are people there that support us and support this campaign and support this movement. So I'm going to make the time to go down there. Exactly. And I think that's very telling of his character. But anyway, so I had attended the San Jose rally, and about halfway through the rally, I decided to go outside and capture what was going on outside because there were a lot of protesters. And what I witnessed outside was the tipping point for me in terms of quote unquote coming out in support of Trump, because
it's like a coming out party.
It really was. Yeah, no, it's strange in this country that folks feel more comfortable speaking, publicly about their sexual orientation than they do about their political orientation.
No, it's true. I mean, I'm going to stop you for just a second, only because I'm in Texas, and you know what I don't see? I don't see one bumper sticker, one sign in the road, anything for Trump. Nothing. And it's not because there's not support here. I know there's support here. It's because they're afraid. They're scared to death that they're going to put it out and then someone's going to like tell people something.
Here's exactly, and this is the same exact thing that I saw at the riot, at the protests outside was, as Trump supporters were leaving, I'm talking like young women, children, families, they were getting harassed, kicked, spit on, cursed at, having their things stolen. And I have over an hour of footage capturing all of this. I actually periscoped it live. And I saw people getting sucker punched and just having their things stolen and spit right in the face and just utter disrespect. You see Mexican flags being waved and run around all in the streets, American flags being lit on fire. And this is all outside of a political rally where folks are expressing their First Amendment right to free speech and organization. And to have that happen was really just eye-opening for me. Now I knew that this was a problem, and I knew that others felt the same way that I did in terms of being unable to speak freely and speak up about my opinions and my political beliefs. But I didn't know that it was this bad and that it was this violent. And then here we see the media painting the Trump supporters as the violent ones, when meanwhile, people are getting seriously injured, at these rallies, at these riots outside of and these protests outside of these rallies. So I think that hits on what you were saying, is people are afraid to put bumper stickers and yard signs for fear of property damage or maybe damage to themselves, right? Maybe harm to themselves. So I saw this and I came out publicly after that and told my story and shared my story and shared why I was supporting Mr. Trump. And exactly what I had feared was going to happen happened. So I had this massive backlash, and I was called a racist and a bigot and an Islamophobe, and every list of words down the liberal.
So let me get this straight. So you shared this on social media. I'm assuming Facebook, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And you're getting backlash from friends and people that in the community, like friends on Facebook, kind of thing.
Yeah, I mean, it wasn't only like typical friends from high school or people from my hometown.
It's people in Silicon Valley, being there for 5 years, right? Communicate. I wouldn't say friends. I mean, people who call it friends, Facebook friends, like people that and connect to, right?
I mean, these are people that I respected. These are, some of the best entrepreneurs, investors in the world. And I had the utmost respect for all of these people, and to just see them completely break down at an opposing opinion and to try to discredit that opposing opinion by labeling me as a racist or whatever was just totally absurd. It was the most absurd thing I've ever seen. So I think what I noticed is that this feeling of being unable to speak freely offline was also happening online and at scale. And it was happening for tens of millions of people who felt the same way that I did. So I think that was really the tipping point. And once I saw the trending topics, somebody from Facebook's trending topics product come out publicly and whistleblow and say, listen, we were actively suppressing conservative news, conservative sources.
Right? Do you remember that came out and they flew over there and Mark Zuckerberg sitting in his room and they're like, we don't do. They brought Fox News people in and all this crap.
Oh, please. They flew down Glenn Beck. They thought everything was fine, right? It was the biggest joke.
It's funny because I quote unquote, Facebook I like Trump's page, of course, right, and other people's. I get nothing. In the news feed about that at all whatsoever. But yet I get all kinds of stuff about Hillary all the time, and I'm like, I haven't liked anything about Hillary. I haven't liked, touched, clicked, nothing, because I am an anti, right? So that made no sense to me. That was my first red flag. And then I liked this page, and I went out there and said, hey, I want notifications. I got nothing.
Yep.
Really?
Well, I mean, so that's the thing. And like you said earlier, I mean, this is something that has been going on for years. And I think we've all been subtly aware of it and subtly just brushed it off. But now that it actually matters, now that an election is at stake, now that the future of this country is at stake, I think that it's getting more and more aggressive. And I don't think that it's going to stop. And it's happening across pretty much every vertical of communication on the internet.
Michael Savage, he went away for a couple hours, about a day or two.
On the radio now.
On the radio, which is Michael's, right? 25. He's like 20 million listeners. And they were willing to pull his plug in the middle of it because he was talking about some things with Hillary and her health. Oh my God, that's crazy. So we're here in 2016. We're in October. We're talking. We're a month out from the election. When did you start GAB.Ai?
Sure. Yeah, so I started Gab. I believe it was August. August is when we really started. Okay. And again, the tipping.
2015 or 2016?
Yeah. 2016 this year. So a few months ago. 2 months ago. And again, the tipping point for me was the Facebook trending topics, a combination of that and a combination of what I saw in San Jose, really. So that really pushed me over the edge. And, we launched Gab into private beta and didn't show any part of the product, just had a quote on a landing page, a place to put your email, and said, hey, we're going to promote free speech. Join us if you'd like. And overnight, we had, 10,000 people within like 48 hours sign up. And we were just blown away. We weren't expecting this at all. We weren't anticipating it all. And, it just kept compounding week after week after week. Now we have some of the top conservative voices, conservative influencers in the world on Gab. We have about 23,000 active users. We have another 85,000 that are in line from around the world to get in.
I'm still in line, by the way.
You still didn't get in?
I'm still in line.
Should have DM'd me.
I'm in line. Yes. Would you let me in? I feel like I need the VIP line, the rope. Yeah. You have to let all the guys on Renegade Nation too, including Sammy, Richie, Elderby. She actually talks a lot about this conspiracy theory. She's on Renegade Nation. She's amazing. Sure. It's called Pick Up the Dots. She talks about joining the dots, all the different things that happen overseas and here, and she's like amazing at it. Right? She can go on and on forever. She's amazing. So yeah, I'm in line. So.
Sure. Let me maybe just for the listeners who might not be following along of what Gab actually is. So Gab is a social.
What is it?
Yeah, so Gab is a social network, and functionally speaking, it works very similar to Twitter. Some high-level differences is we offer 300 characters as opposed to 140. We don't censor any trends, so what you see trending on Gab is what people are actually talking about right now. There's no algorithm behind it. There's no influence behind it from us as a company. It's what is actually being said. And what we're trying to do, so our mission is very simple. It's to put people first and to promote free speech and free expression for everybody, not just a select group, but for everybody. And the way that we do that is by empowering our users at every level. So as opposed to us censoring or filtering or having these obscure hate speech rules or harassment rules that we need to police the community with,
right.
What we're doing is we're giving you the tools as a user to police your own feed. So we have something called feed filtering where you can add different words or phrases or hashtags or individual users that you don't want to see in your feed, and you won't ever see them. So this doesn't only include things that we all, pretty much know, right? Like all the hate words that we all can agree are bad and, we shouldn't be using them or whatever. Beyond that, it's topics too. So maybe you don't really like sports and you still want to see the content from your friends, but on Sunday for the next 15 weeks, you don't want to see all the sports scores. Mm-hmm. So you can mute things like NFL, all the NFL teams, anything that's related to sports, you can mute. The other flip side is like, say you have a favorite TV show and you don't want to see any spoilers. Well, you can add that TV show to your list of muted words and you won't see any mentions of it, or maybe all of the characters and stuff. So you can avoid seeing a leak from that show from that week, as an example. So there are a lot of different ways that you can use this feed filtering system to really create and mold your own experience versus having us do that for you. Because that's what's happening on social. You said, you like Donald's page and you're not even seeing his content because the feed is manipulated. So it's an algorithm. It's there's so much content being produced that there needs to be some sort of level to filter out some of the noise. And Facebook, Twitter, everybody else's approach is we're going to filter that noise out for you and decide what you should see and shouldn't. Our approach is we want to empower you as a user to make that decision because we don't know what you think is hate speech. We don't know what you think is harassment. We don't know what you think should be seen and shouldn't. So why not let you choose that instead of us as a corporation?
I think also because it's behind closed doors right now. Like right now, you can't just go to my feed. AI feed. And so the reason I think it's really important, you guys, you got to understand this. I mean, I'm in Austin and I talk about marketing and stuff like that, but I really feel, even when I talk about what I talk about, I really feel I can't really say what I really think, right? Mm-hmm. I can't. I mean, I'd probably be thrown into the Alex Jones world of conspiracy theory. And that's fine, but that's not my mission in life to go become like Alex. Alex is amazing. I really support him, but I don't want to be that for the rest of my life. Right. So I have other things I really want to do. And so the problem with me really speaking out on what I think, then I can't, I can't do that because I might literally cut people in half, meaning
Yep.
half my people are going to go away and like, oh, we don't like
Yep.
the fact that you like Trump. And I do say I like Trump, and there's a reason why, but I don't go into what a conspiracy theory. The thing
Sure.
I want to have happen is, and I love what you guys do, and this is why I reached out to you, is that it's freedom to speak it without the backlash of the public, right? Meaning it's private, and I can really have an avenue, a place to speak it out, and not have this like, I'm going to go kill you on Twitter, or I'm going to go kill you on Facebook, and I'm going to, take you down, all this crazy stuff that's happening. And it's really strange to me that it's happening. I mean, it's just weird. It's just super weird to me.
It's bizarre.
It really is bizarre. So you've been here for 2 months. That's pretty impressive. Do you find it's gonna continue even after the election?
Yeah. So I think, as we mentioned earlier, this is something that people brought up, which really confuses me. Is this hype going to die down? Is Gabb's growth going to die down after election? And I say absolutely not, because after the election, I believe Mr. Trump is going to win. I believe that confidently. And once he does win, we're going to need to start passing policy. We're going to need to support him as he builds out his cabinet. And we're going to need to support, his presidency going forward as a movement. And I think if you look at Brexit, it's a perfect example. So Brexit has already happened. They already passed it, and we still have incredible energy. So the UK is our second biggest country right now, so we have this incredible high energy from folks over there, and that is proving that I think it's going nowhere. Right, like this movement is not just a movement in the United States; it's a movement at a global level. And you look at what's happening in Germany, where the Angela Merkel's party just got flattened in the elections. You look at Brazil, and Latin America, where conservative parties are rising, conservative leaders are rising. You look at Canada, the same thing, conservative leaders are rising. The UK, same exact thing. So again, this is really a global conservative movement, and a worldwide rejection of globalism and of shadow governments like the UN. And 4 or 5 puppet masters, basically controlling the world, as they have been for years.
I'm just going to throw this out here, right? I think that Gabb.Ai is going to become a global space where people can actually really say what they feel on a global level, because I think you're right. There's a ton of stuff going on in the UN, and I'm not an expert at all with that, so I can't talk to details.
Same.
But I know there's stuff going down, and I know people are getting killed over it, and I know people are. There's a lot of stuff going on that we don't know about here in the United States. I always think of the Truman Show. I feel that the United States is extremely protected. We're extremely protected little bubble.
Yep.
And what's happening is because of social media, because they can't control
they can't contain it.
They can't contain it. Because people understand, they think that this is just happening now. It's not. It's been happening for
years,
decades. It's just they controlled the newspapers. They controlled the radio. So it's all we had. So that's where the bubble was created. Now with social media, they are having a hard time controlling it. And I think Facebook is definitely in the hands of the government. I mean, why else would Facebook, why would Facebook, a tech company, meet the Pope?
Yep. I mean, a lot.
Come on. I saw that picture. I'm like, that is so staged. And it's him by himself with his wife meeting the Pope. Come on. Why? What the F is that? And I think it's because he's a world leader. Mark Zuckerberg is not a world leader.
No.
He's not. However, he's in bed. He's in bed with the higher ups because it's the way they can control.
Yep.
Right. So, of course, he's being open to all these different things. He'll probably become, master of the universe in the UN or something. And I think that when I see that, I'm like, you're a tech company. I don't see the main guy from what is it called, LinkedIn or Evernote.
Yep.
They don't get that. Why? Why are you, Mark Zuckerberg, getting blessed by the Pope of all things? Because it's control.
It's really disgusting. Yeah,
Facebook is the new church. And I mean that in the most weird way. If you look at the history books down from Jesus on, it was the Catholicism was the Facebook. Catholicism was the way they controlled people and messaged people, right? It was through the church.
Yep.
That's all gone away. It's no longer that, right? Where do we go to get our news, our information? It's Facebook. So Facebook is the Catholicism. So of course, Mark Zuckerberg gets blessed. I saw that video and I'm like,
crazy.
Contrived. Anyway.
Yep. Yep. And also he's Jewish, so that was confusing.
Right? He is Jewish. He's totally Jewish. And I saw that. I'm like, isn't he Jewish?
Yeah.
And here he is getting blessed by the
Blessed by the Pope.
Catholic
Yeah.
Pope. In his private quarters. It's not even public. It's in this private setting where no one can shoot him. And they're getting blessed and all this stuff. And I think he's blessing his wife. Was his kid there? I can't remember. But I'm like, he was Jewish. He is Jewish. He didn't even believe in the Catholic Pope.
Crazy.
Oh
I mean,
God.
so the other thing that I saw with Gabbed, right? So being,
Renegade Nation. You got to check that out, Renegade Nation. You got to think about that stuff. Go ahead.
So being in the ad tech industry and being intimately close to all of the business models of these companies, one of the things that I saw happening is now ad blockers are rising. So 25% of the internet right now is blocking ads, right? And that's the sole source of income for Facebook, Twitter, Google, almost everybody. So I saw this happening, and now what's happening is Facebook and Google and others are fighting back very publicly against the ad blockers. And they're saying, we're going to block your ad blocking. And the ad blockers are coming back and saying, well, we're going to block your blocking. And what this is doing.
What is that doing? I don't get it.
So it's just basically, a war going back and forth, a software war of them trying to figure out how to one up each other. And Facebook obviously has every incentive to unblock ads because that's how they make their revenue. And ad blockers are pro people, most of them. Some of them are becoming more corporate interest now, corporate driven and motive driven. But most of them are people driven and just want to help folks create the experience that they want to create online and opt out of seeing advertisements. So anyway, what's going on is 25% of the internet right now is blocking ads. 73 out of 4 millennials is blocking ads either on the web or on mobile or on both. So that shows you that the younger generation is almost entirely blocking ads. And one day we're going to wake up and the internet, half of the internet, 75% of the internet is going to be blocking ads. And all of these companies are going to crumble because they don't have another business model. And the problem is that they're now so tied in with these advertisers in contracts and publishers and all of these things that they cannot go back. They cannot change their business model. They cannot undo what they've already built. Their business model is selling user data to advertisers. It's very simple, right? That's all it is. You're selling eyeballs. You are the product on Facebook. You are the product on Twitter. So what we want to do is empower creators because there are millions of creators like yourself, right? That spend hours and thousands of dollars and years building up a personal brand, building up an audience, creating high quality content. Sure. And for years, we were all promised that we were going to get massive distribution and, one of our clips could go viral and we could become the next big thing. And, for a while, it was sort of like that. And now what we've seen over the past probably 3 or 4 years is a shift to pay to play. So if you want to reach this audience that you just spent a decade building up, guess what? You're going to have to pay us money to do so. And that is not right. And the second thing that's not right is you as a content creator are the one that is entertaining these eyeballs all day long. And the only one that is benefiting from it is the advertiser and the shareholders of Facebook. Right. Why does the content creator not benefit from that? Because their sell is, well, you get the distribution from it, so you're not going to get revenue sharing from it. So what we want to do is completely turn this entire model on its head and help content creators monetize their audience, their time, and their content on Gabbed. So a few of the ways that we're thinking about doing this is something like a donations or a tips. So if you look at something like Twitch TV, which over 100 million people use every single month to watch other folks play video games live, and there's this entire economy of people who tip and donate to folks that are playing video games.
So what you're saying is, you're going to be here on YouTube and you're going to be on some other places we're going to place this. So you're saying that if this content we're creating right now was on GAB.AI, then I could be tipped for how amazing I am?
That's what we're doing. Yeah. So that's what we're building.
I want to be tip me, right? That's awesome. Donate. I hate the word donate because it feels very charity, but tipping, I'm all about tipping, right? We tip people all the time. The coffee person, they're like, I want to tip.
Exactly. Why can't you tip in the real? Why can't you tip in the real world?
Tip me.
You can tip the real world.
I really love what you're doing. Tip me $1. Tip me $5.
Exactly. That's
now, why
exactly
not
what
revenue share though? Because I want to push back on this because as a content creator myself, and I understand affiliate marketing very well and ad buys and all that. That's what I did for 7 years, 8 years. I still do it today. Why can't I get a percentage of the ad revenue? If I create the content, right, and then I have an ad, why can't I get a percentage of that, even if it's 10 to 15% spread?
So we actually don't have ads right now, and as of right now,
future.
Yes, so our plan for the future is to reinvent advertising and not to do it with a typical cost per click or
Yeah.
cost per 1,000 impressions model. What we want to do is, again, empower creators and give them the ability to choice. So instead of us as a company saying, well, we're going to let advertisers choose that they could target your audience, and you're not going to get to choose which advertiser targets your
Yeah.
audience is going to see what we serve them. What we're going to say is, okay, you have the advertisers that can pitch you as a content creator and
Yeah.
choose you as a content creator, and then you as the content creator have a choice to pick which campaign you want to support. So if you actually really do support Kraft macaroni and cheese as an example,
Right.
and you want to actually get that in front of your audience, and Kraft is willing to pay you $1,000 to make a quick video or put up a couple of gabs about it,
Right.
as long as you're transparent about that, you say, hey, listen, guys, like I'm being paid by Kraft. This is what I do, but I really enjoy Kraft, and I think you should buy Kraft, and here's why. I think that will create a much more authentic experience, both from the advertiser's perspective and from the content creator's perspective and from the consumer's perspective, because it'll be real. It won't just be, and the consumer will be able to tell if the content creator is, being a shill, quote unquote, and just taking whatever and just trying to make a buck, and that'll turn them off, right? So that they won't want to follow that person anymore because they'll think they're just in it for the money and not for whatever the content is or whatever, or for the community or for the audience. So I think that that's one way that we can reinvent it going forward. And the other way is through something like subscriptions. So think of yourself almost as a Netflix channel, right? So if folks,
Netflix, that's awesome. That's awesome. I
So-
love it.
we don't know what the specific price point for this is, but whether it's $5, $10 a month, and then you get access to maybe 4 or 5 of your top content creators. And those content creators obviously have their free Gabs. So Gab is completely free to sign up. It's completely free to use. It always will be. But if you want to opt in to, say, your channel, your Gab channel, and pay $5 extra a month
Yeah.
to get exclusive content from you, I think a lot of people will do this, especially for like musicians and stuff like that, like your favorite artist, your favorite band. Imagine getting exclusive songs, exclusive behind the scenes content that you wouldn't be able to get normally for an extra $5 a month or so. I think that people will absolutely do that. So those are really the 3 different business models that we're looking at. So one is tipping, and allowing content creators to make money through a voluntary opt-in, service or exchange of value from the audience. Number 2 is a premium subscription model that you as a content creator can provide exclusive content to only folks that subscribe to your exclusive channel.
Yeah. Okay.
And then number 3 is reinventing advertising and making it somewhat more of like influencer marketing is. So right now there's this entire underground black market economy of folks that are influencers on Instagram that get paid. Brands reach out via DM and say, hey, I'll give you $500 to create a post on this. And that is not really tracked at all. And there's no structure or organization to it. And we think that we could take this concept that is already happening right now and put some structure, put some organization around it on Gab and provide a platform for influencers to connect with advertisers in an authentic way, not a throw whatever at the wall, see what sticks way, or force this ad down your audience's throat way, which is what's happening right now. But you're opting in and accepting this campaign and believing in this actual product or service and promoting it because you care about it and you want your audience to see it actually.
Well, I love that idea, especially as a content creator myself. But I think also it's a new way to think about it. You got to come to the Affiliate Summit. Are you coming to Affiliate Summit in January?
Sure.
You ever heard of Affiliate Summit?
I've heard of it, yeah.
Yeah, you should come to it. It's in Vegas. It's in January. I'll be there. Affiliate Summit I've been going to for years and years and years. I know the owner, Rashawn. He's amazing. But at the end of the day, it's really about marketers coming together and affiliate. And it's all like the innovative stuff of this. So you got to come, right? You got to come and check it out because it's a new space. That's what people do there. They're always looking for. A lot of content creators come like that, for like me, and then people come like, I have a product that I want you to sell. How do we make a deal? Right. So that's a lot of that. Also, they have networks and things like that. So Renegade Nation Network is going to be there. I'm going to be there. Love to have a beer with you, right? And check it out. Because I think it is a new model. As a content creator myself, the reason I create content is because I love creating content, but at the same time, I'm creating to create an audience. Why do I create an audience? Because I want to, be able to make money. Why do I make money?
You have bills to pay,
money.
right?
I don't know. I like money. I like money. And I just did an amazing deal with thinkific.com. It's a great company. And we did a deal together because I love their product. I love the product. I reached out to them like, I love you. I wanted to put something together. And we did a deal together. And I also have a deal with Mobit.com. It's an amazing technology for text messaging. So we're doing some stuff together as well. And Adam and Eve, Renegade Nation does a lot of stuff with Adam and Eve. So it's a shared model. They make money. We make money. They get a free audience. That's the beauty of, I think, business. First is a pay to play. And I think what's happening today, the reason why there's this particular election, going back to the election, is so loud. It's not because any other election was not important. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that all this stuff is coming out. A lot of paid up. The Clinton Foundation. I mean, come on, people. If you guys don't act, I see some people on TV talking like
crazy,
to defend it. I'm like, you can't even defend it. Like they tried to like, Clinton Foundation does a lot of good for people.
Unreal, unbelievable, most disgusting thing.
Like guys. Bullshit. That's all I have to say.
It's a slush fund.
Such crap. It is a pay to play. These people couldn't even pay their mortgage when they walked out of the White House, and all of a sudden they're billionaires. They're billionaires. I mean, all I gotta say is I now have a foundation. It's called Heather Foundation, and give me money, and I mean, I'll figure.
You'll say whatever you want on air, right?
I'll say whatever you want. I love Coca-Cola. You know,
that's
whatever.
Basically it.
It's a foundation. It's and then what I think is interesting because I'm an entrepreneur. When here's Donald as a private citizen. Oh, yeah, he didn't pay any taxes. That's why I hire amazing accountants.
He's smart,
to go inside of the tax law and make sure I don't pay taxes too. Because you know what? I'm creating jobs. He's creating jobs. There's a ton of taxes going out there. I don't know why you guys get upset about this. But you do realize, and if you guys could just take out your brain for a second, the Clinton Foundation is literally, the word foundation, and a 501c3 is one of the largest ways that you can.
Corruption.
Tax haven. Possible, okay? All right, it's literally designed to be a tax haven. Okay,
it needs to be restructured completely. It needs to be turned on its head. I think Trump will do that as well. And if you look, this is a new hot trend with the elites. So Zuckerberg came out with the Zuckerberg-Chan initiative, which is the exact same thing. It's an LLC that they put all of their shares in. So now he can give away $1 billion a year of his 50, write it off, not pay any taxes on it, and give it to quote unquote charities and all this stuff. And the other ethical question behind it is he is using his monetary influence to impress what he wants to see happen on the world. So that's very questionable because obviously there's a lot of problems in this world and there's a lot of things that can be solved.
Yeah.
And the fact that one person has that much weight into which of those problems is solved is very questionable.
Yeah.
And the fact that it's glorified as this big virtue signal. Look at how virtuous Mark Zuckerberg is, donating $1 billion to this charity, whatever. Well, what you don't see is that he's writing it off, and that he now has more control over his shares than he did when he owned them as a private individual, and all of these other things that are clearly self-interest driven. And nobody wants to talk about it. Nobody wants to talk. Everybody knows what it is, but nobody wants to talk about it.
I don't think everyone knows what you just said. They didn't really get that because I mean I don't think a lot of people understand because the tagline I saw on the news cycle was that something like Mark Zuckerberg gives away some ungodly amount of money to charity for the birth of his child or something like that he spun it. And I'm thinking to myself, that's a really bad headline. Here's why. Because if I'm a mother and I'm struggling, I'm struggling. I'm a single mom struggling. I got 2 kids because that's how I grew up. My mom, 2 kids, and she was struggling the entire time I was growing up. I see that article. I'm like, what the, really?
Yeah,
What charity is that? Because I'm going to sign up.
Yep.
You give away $1 billion or whatever the number was. I don't remember. Because your child's born to the world. Great. Like, where do I sign up for that?
That's my exact point. It's like, what? Like,
where is that money going? What charity is that? Because I'm in. Like, I'm gonna run to San Jose, and I'm gonna sign up. Whatever they need me to sign up. Right. That's what I would think if I was in that situation. And I think it's negative. I think it's very negative that he literally has this like, I'm just gonna throw money to the wind. That's how it comes across because I have a child now, and everyone else is over there going, "Oh, I have a child. That was very expensive. Oh my God, I gotta save. This kid's gonna go to college in 20 years. I don't have the money, And meanwhile, he just throws away $1 billion. I think that was the worst thing they could do for him.
That was the worst spin. Yeah, it was terrible spin, and that's how they spun it. Is like, oh, Mark has a kid now. This is the perfect time to create a nonprofit tax haven for him. Okay, great.
Right.
It's
I didn't really like it. So I wanted to wrap it up, right? For Renegade Nation, go check out Andrew at GAB.AI. So where's the future of Gabb.AI right now? The next, 30 days, we're 30 days out, I think like 29 or something like that, for the election. We're talking October 7th. Or 30 days out. Can people go on there now and say, hey, I want to start sharing and whatnot? Can that happen now?
Sure. So what we have right now is a wait list, and
Okay.
it takes about a week to get in right now. And the reason that we have a wait list and the reason that we're throttling it is because we have massive, massive demand. And we're not quite there on the back end side of our technology to scale to the
Right.
level of demand that we have right now. So we're still building that out, but we're making progress every day on that front. And the next step is right now, Gabbs are locked down, so you can't view them unless you're logged in. What we're going to do actually next week is open them up. So even if you're not a Gabb user, you can still view the content on Gabb. And you might not necessarily be able to engage with it just yet, but you'll be able to get in line and claim your username and that type of stuff is really our next step.
And there's what's the word? Anonymity? How do you say that word? Anonymity? Like you can.
And anonymity.
Yes. You
Yes,
don't have to say you're, Heather Havenwood. I don't even know what my username
Yes.
is. Maybe I put it out there, but I can have Wolf or something, right? I don't have to have
Absolutely.
that's my name, right? So I think that's really important too. People can speak and freely and really share information. I remember when the big
Exactly.
conspiracy theory was going on because of Hillary Clinton's pneumonia, and they had the pictures of her like a couple hours later, and they think it's a double. Personally, my view is I think it was a
Yep.
double, and they had all these pictures on Twitter, and there were a few that would all of a sudden like you'd see it, and then you go to it, and it was gone, and you're like, this tweet's no longer available. You're like,
Crazy.
right? I'm like, why is it not available anymore, right? So, because here's my own little conspiracy theory about this, because I've only shared this once, is people ask me, do you believe that it was a double? I do. Here's why. I am a blonde, and it's not necessarily 100% natural, okay? Just so you go. I
Yep.
know hair color, okay? I know hair color. Any person that's a hair color specialist or a blonde, because blonde is a certain kind of hair color, girl. I'm just saying, like, you can't get anybody to do a good blonde. You can't do it. I go get my hair done, it takes me 3 hours. Okay, I know blonde. The woman who fell, okay, and then the woman who came out, it was a different hair job. It was a different blonde. It was a different blonde, man. And her hair, the double, it was shorter. It was like maybe a half an inch shorter where it laid on her shoulders. Now, the average person doesn't see that because they covered this up, right? And they just did this a little bit, and she's in and out. But if you look at the hair job, it's a different hair job. And she did not get a different hair job in an hour. I'm just saying.
In the van while she's passed out, right?
Any person that's a blonde hair job girl or guy who knows hair will go, that's a different hair job. You can see it. You can see the streaks. It's really hard to match a good blonde. And she's got a blonde. And it's fake, obviously, right?
Yep.
That's my conspiracy theory. Everyone else is like this, that, and the outfit, and that could all be kind of, wishy-wash. Well, maybe it was the angle, all that.
Sure.
Not the hair. Not the hair. I'm just saying the hair, the blonde, it was a different hair job. It's a different, pigmentation. Everyone's pigmentation and their hair is different. It was a different hair job, and it was shorter. So anyway, that's my take on that. Okay, so Gabb.AI, where else they can find you? Can they find you anywhere else in a public manner? Are you on Facebook anymore? Are you on Twitter anymore? Or are you just like, I'm out of here?
Well, I was banned temporarily on Facebook a few weeks ago for sharing a video of Milo Yiannopoulos because that's apparently not allowed.
Wait, what's Milo Yiannopoulos?
But so Milo Yiannopoulos, who is he?
Yeah, who is that? I don't know who that is.
He's an editor for Breitbart.com.
Okay, no clue. I don't know what you're talking about. Right? So what did you put on there? You put a video on something?
Oh yeah. So he's doing a college tour now where he's going around and speaking to colleges about political correctness and liberty and free speech and all the things that are cultural libertarianism that we're all kind of fighting for here. And he had a trailer promoting his tour, and I shared it on Facebook, and I was banned for 24 hours. They automatically remove the content. They don't tell me why it was removed. They told me that the guidelines have been broken. They don't tell me which guideline was broken, and that I was unable to post or communicate in any form or engage in any form on Facebook for 24 hours. And that's very scary because there are a lot of folks out there who depend on Facebook as their main form of communication with friends, family, workers, whoever. And I was unable to even send direct messages for 24 hours. So I had my parents, I had my little brothers, I had, close friends and family messaging me, and I couldn't say anything to them. I could not respond. But I am on Twitter still. I'm at Torbahax, Torbahax, at least until they ban me there. And outside of that, the other thing that I want to mention is right now we don't have mobile apps, but we do have a mobile web version that works very, very well on mobile browsers. Okay. And we have mobile apps are in private development right now, and they're almost ready. So that'll be coming probably within the next couple of weeks as well.
Awesome. Well, that's awesome. Well, you're a little bad Andrew. I mean, this is great. You're really creating the future. I'm so glad you came on Renegade Nation because honestly, we know here that, that the tagline for Renegade Nation and Sam Ritchie is we don't sugarcoat shit. That's their little tagline. It's not my show tagline, but this really is who they are and what we stand for. We want to have uncensorship. I mean, that's really what Ritchie stands for and Sammy stands for and everyone here does. So thank you so much for being here. Go check out Andrew and get on GAB.Ai. GAB.Ai. Just go sign up. Just go do it. It's going to take a week, but that's okay. You want to have that place to be uncensored. And that's really impressive. So, and go check them out on Twitter as well. Thank you so much, Andrew. And I'm going to wrap up. This is Heather Havenwood with The Win on Renegade Nation.